Das Forum Nordicum wird unterstützt durch die deutsche Avia Mineralöl GmbH.
A very warm welcome from our side. We are an athlete, Wolfgang Kindl from Austria, two race organizers from Oberhof, Germany, and Innsbruck Eagles, and two FIL officials, my colleague Matthias Böhmer, our sport director, and me. And I'm the person I sent you an email during the lunch break with our media information, press kit, and all the contacts of our group presenting here. On behalf of this luge family, I would like to sincerely thank you for the opportunity to be represented here among such distinguished international media. Our president, Mr. Einas Fogelis, who joined us last year in Switzerland, sends his warm regards and deepest regrets for not being with us today. He's attending the IF Forum in Lausanne. But he kindly asked me to extend his warm greetings to you. It is now my pleasure to hand over to our sport director, Mr. Matthias Böhmer, known to everyone simply as Böhmi, and he asked me to call him Böhmi. So, grazie mille e benvenuti a Cavallese.
Thank you. Grazie mille, Margit. Hi everyone, how are you doing? Good? Lunch was okay? My wife said, don't speak too long because your meeting is after lunch, so it means everyone will have a nap. So I try to be short and just fly through the presentation. Maybe you've seen something in front of you, or you noticed that there was a little gift from our side. Last year we joined the meeting and we gave you wine as a gift. I guess it was good. I had a little bit trouble going home from Lenzerheide last year because we had a few boxes left, and when I crossed the Swiss border, the guy was looking into the car and he saw a lot of bottles of wine there, so I had a little bit of trouble there, so I had to drink it all at once. No, just kidding. No, this year we thought wine is fine, but whiskey is quicker, or liquor is quicker. That's why we're having something for you here for cold days, because maybe you would all go to Cortina and you will wait outside in the cold, and nothing is better to get warm, but from inside first, and then inside out, and schnapps is always the best way to get warm. So enjoy, and with every drink you make out of this little drinking container, you can think of us. Oh, yeah, we start. So I will continue. Just this little season review from last year. So as you can, maybe some of you will remember, we had, I guess, 47 rule changes last year. Many small things, but we implemented a new discipline. We changed the start order. Some of you can remember we had a situation 2 years ago when athletes were braking inside the track during a race. And this was just the start that we changed and adapted the start order for the World Cup and for World Championships, and at the end it worked out beautiful, so this was a big success. Also, we implemented a completely new discipline, a new event, a mixed event, which combines one man, one woman in the singles, and one man double and one woman double in the doubles discipline, and this should have worked out beautiful. We will continue with that. We even applied to be in the Olympic program for 2030 in France. This is an ongoing process and will be decided next year, but it looks good. And our season highlight we had in Whistler in Canada, the World Championships, the first time since 2012 or 13, I guess, that we went back to North America for World Championships, and this was very great. We had a very great season last year. What comes this year? So now I stand up because it's a little bit stupid if I sit. So we're having not 10, but 9 World Cup races this year, including, or also the Olympic Winter Games in Milano Cortina. So we will start in Innsbruck with our first World Cup. Will be a special World Cup this year because it's a new track. It's 50 years Ice Canal. It's a 3 days event. For the first time, we will have all 3 disciplines there mixed. Our individual disciplines and the team relay. We have also the Austrian race organizer here. They will say a little bit more. Then we will fly over the Atlantic, going to Park City, having a World Cup there. Park City will be the venue for the 2034 Olympic Games in Salt Lake City. First time there since a couple of years. Then we move on to Lake Placid, upstate New York. Great place. Then everyone will go into the winter, to the holiday break, Christmas break, and then we're starting over in Sigulda in Latvia. Then we go to Winterberg. And these 5 races actually will be part of the qualification process for the Olympic Games. So if you want to qualify for the Olympic Games, you must participate in these 5 races. There would be certain ways if you not participate, how to participate, but it's very tricky. So we tell every one of our athletes and teams, participate, give your best, try to be ranked as high as possible with the best numbers, and then it's always good. So no technical, no tactic things, just participate. After Winterberg, there will be the deadline. So we will kind of inform the National Olympic Committees about the quotas. Austria has 3 men in the field, Germany has 2, and so on and so on. We have overall 106 quota places, 106 athletes will go there. It's small, not so many. For example, in the single disciplines, we have 25 athletes. In the World Cup, usually we have 5 more, 30, but the qualification for the World Cup, sometimes we have 50 or 55. So it's quite limited for the Olympic Games. And I guess like every International Winter Sport Federation is currently fighting for more quota places at the Olympic program for 2030. So there's an ongoing process now, actually at the moment, because there was a meeting with all IF's presidents and secretary generals in Milano. They all met the new president, Kirsty Coventry, and the new sport director, and they were actually talking about this subject because this is, I guess, for every winter IF a very big one, and also the decision comes next week. After Winterberg, we will move on to Oberhof. Oberhof 1, unfortunately, but wait for the second part. Oberhof will also be the European Championships. Then comes Oberhof 2, also unfortunately, because we had to replace Königssee, because if you all know, we scheduled Königssee for this year, and it looked quite promising. But at the end, the Königssee race organizer and German Federation unfortunately had to withdraw the Königssee race because the construction started, but they didn't finish, or there was no chance that they would be ready in the time, and then we decided to push the World Cup start for Königssee back to the 26-27 season. And at the moment, it looks promising. So we're having the double World Cup in Oberhof. Then we're going to Milano Cortina, having the Olympic Winter Games. And then the first time, Wikipedia said since the season 83-84, so where the Sarajevo Games was, the first time that we will have World Cup races after the Olympic Games, and we will continue in beautiful St. Moritz, and then the World Cup final in Altenberg. And before all this, so before we even come to the first World Cup in Innsbruck, we will have a good and long time in Cortina on the new track. So we will be at the Cortina track at the end of October already for a period of 10 or 12 days. All the teams will make their first runs there in an international training week. It's quite casual, let's say. And then we move away. They're doing their national training, maybe their national selection races. In the meantime, IBSF, the Bobsleigh World Federation, will go there, will do the same. And then we will go back 1 week before the World Cup in Innsbruck, and we will have our test event. So we will not have a World Cup there. We will have a test event. We're running an entire week as a World Cup, but as a test event. So, does the video start? No? Yes? Oh. So now we see actually the new track in Cortina. A little bit. Maximum speed is 133 kilometers. We reached during the pre-homologation that we will be a little bit faster. This is the men's luge start, but also the bobsleigh start. Here comes the women's start and double start in. We are already at the middle part. This is also the steepest area here. That's the top speed section, and the low part, Corna Arrivo, and then we're crossing the finish line, and we arrived. This was the track, and So again, I show a little bit more. This was very quick. Oh, I pushed wrong. So here is the man start. Here is the woman start. Also the bobsleigh start will be here. We're driving here, there. This is the labirinto, grande labirinto, labirinto 1, 2, 3, curva Belvedere. Here is a long straightaway. We're going into the famous Antelao Cristallo corner. This will be the top speed section, actually. This is the first time that the low part is not the top speed section. So usually you would think the lowest part of the track is where you have the fastest speed. Here it's different. Here it will be kind of in the last third. Then we're having a big uphill section, which is a chicane. Then it goes down again. This is the low point, and then we're driving up, and then we're having a very interesting additional thing. This will be a tunnel. So the arrivo corner, the finish corner, will be within a tunnel. It will be dark, of course, with light, but this is the first time that it will be in a tunnel. And Cortina, the original track, was built in 1956 for the Winter Olympic Games. And some of you, does anyone like James Bond? Of course, yes. You know, my wife also likes James Bond, but not because of James Bond, but because of Daniel Craig. So the Cortina track was actually part of a James Bond movie in the 1980s for Your Eyes Only with Roger Moore. And we just see a little bit about that. This actually happens. They were actually skiing, but they were always skiing and cycling in the same areas. Yeah, so you see this bridge here 2 or 3 times because they were always sliding down the same area, so not the entire track. Here comes the bridge again. Here again. Oh, it's in, it's over. So this was the very top section of the old track, and it's still there. So if you go to the track and you want to see something extraordinary and want a little bit, talking smart about this, so you have to go to this man start, and then behind this building, there is a little path going up there. And there you see the old corners actually from this scene from the movie. It's still there, original. And you can go there. There is nothing fenced. You won't be shot, 100%. Here again, the track, and we see here the blue one. This is the original bobsleigh track. So the Pista Olimpica Eugenio Monti, as they said. And you see that it's nearly the same in the upper part. There are a few corrections in the radius because, for example, Labirinto 2, 3 was here a 90-degree corner. This was quite tough. 90-degree corners, it doesn't feel good for the athletes and also not for the brakeman and the foreman and the 2-man. So this is all a little bit smoother now, but you see in general it's the same track. It continues, a little bit wider. The only part is the bottom part who had to be changed because the old track of Cortina was closed in 2009, I guess it was the last season, and it's a long time since that. And here in the middle or in the low point, there is now a climbing hall and tennis courts. So it was not possible to kind of renew this part. So you drive down at the exit of Cristallo, and where they had a long straightaway going around the finish corner, we're just making a nice loop and making a little heart. And then we drive him back up to the finish area, and it will be here. So here we have again the corners. What is very nice in Cortina for the new track is that they're actually having real names, and nobody knows if you say corner 16 or corner 12 or corner 11. So they're having the names Belvedere, Bagnon, Lido, Cappadue, Antelao, Cristallo, Tofana, and no one is calling like corner 1 or 2 or 3. So it's a big history in Cortina, as I said, from the 1950s and even earlier. Also the name, the Eugenio Monti Olympic track. Eugenio Monti was a bobsleigh Olympic champion in 64. Yeah. 68 was Grenoble, right? Yes, because he was in Cortina, he won silver in his home Olympic Games, then he won 1 gold medal in Innsbruck, and he gave a part of the sled to Nash Dixon from Great Britain, and they won the Olympic gold medal, and he became second, and then he won double gold. He's a hero in the sliding sport and also in Italy. just a few dates about the construction. As you know, there was a lot of discussion over the last years. Will it be Cortina? Will it be Eagles? Will it be Lake Placid? Ridiculous. I just talked to our track commission, and he told me just the key facts about the dates. So in April 23, they actually destroyed the old track, or parts of the old track, and then nothing happened for another year. So in May 24, they actually started the construction, and in March 25, we did the first test runs. This is incredible, really. And only with Italian companies, so no companies from outside, so really Italian company. It's an Italian program, project. The work chemistry there is fantastic. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but they're having a lot of acceleration plans, as they call, and the cooperation was just incredible with them. And as we said, in fall 25, we have the test event, ITP, and then the Olympic Games in February 26. We talked about the quota system already. We're having 106 athletes quota, 25 men, 25 women, 18 doubles and 11 women doubles. At the end, we're having 11 teams on site, and our president, our secretary general, fighting quite hard together with all the other presidents and secretary generals from the other IFs that we're having a quota increase. I guess every IF needs that. We're having a few actual pictures from the construction. So this picture was taken last week. So basically the track is ready. It's just incredible how fast they were. The roof is there, the upper part is completely ready. Bottom part, you will see there's a few things to do, but the track is actually ready for sliding. And I guess 2 weeks before we arrive on the 24th of October, we will arrive. 2 weeks before that, the Italian national team will already take some test runs. It means they have to make ice in 2 or 3 weeks. And they need at least 2 weeks to clean the entire track. So no dirt, no screws, no wood, nothing. They're having a nice Kirche, and they will clean everything inside the track and also outside. So it was incredibly fast. Some very, very good things are within this track, which are focusing very much on sustainability and environmental protection. One thing is, and this is a small thing, but I still think this is great, they're having a special lighting system. So most of the tracks, I would say 70%, there is a switch, and you just switch on the light, and then the light is on, like here. So this track will be the first track who has a manual dim. Was this dim in English? Everyone understands what I mean, yes? That you can manually change the intensity of the light. So when we have competitions, you need a different light because TV requires a different light. If you have training, you can go lower with the looks because you don't need this light for TV. So at the end, they said it's built within a forest, in a protected area, with a lot of bats, with a lot of birds, with a lot of eagles. And if you are too bright there, birds will not sleep. They cannot recognize if it's day or light. So they have the special light system that during the night, if they have normal training, or also in the afternoon in December and January when it's dark, then you can make the light darker, that you can still train, you see everything, but it protects kind of the environment and the animals there. And also, and this is actually a big thing, when maybe you've been 10 years or 20 years ago to a luge track, and the light was everywhere. So the entire facility was kind of light up. Now the light is only where it needs to be inside the track. There is particular pedestrian light, but it's more focused on the slider and the track, so that you have protect the light environment a little bit, as they say. Then what is also incredible, that this will not happen now, this will happen also during we having the competition until February. They try to put the entire track in the hill again. So now it comes out, it's a normal track there, and now they will take, I guess, 10 of 16 corners, and will put a lot of dirt and grass on the top and also behind it. So you need less energy for cooling it down, because the natural cooling from the hill, but also it will be kind of grounded in the hill. This will also be the first track. Then we're having a glycol refrigeration system, so no ammoniac is only the second track worldwide who's using that. And also something interesting, AI, of course, is also included in that. They're still discussing if they want to do that. But with the old tracks, it's kind of, you had an ice master, a guy who knew many, many things about the track and about temperatures and refrigeration system. And he just decided 20 years ago, he went into the power plant and said, okay, we go now -10 or -5 or +5. These days you can do it on your phone, but still manually. And the newest shit is now that you have a lot of weather stations around the track, 5 or 6. And especially in the months November, December, but also March, the AI will calculate how cold it needs to be in order to have the perfect track conditions. So you can always make sure you're running the most efficient way and protecting or with the lowest possible energy. And this is quite an interesting thing. So not an individual, of course an individual is double checking, but not an individual says, we go in with -2 or -3. So these weather stations around the track will always calculate the best and most efficient way to do it, and then it will cool down. Koenigsee will get also this system next year, and I guess this is a very good way to move forward. Here's some more pictures. This is actually now the 90-degree corner I said earlier, so Labyrinth 3, and then it goes in corner Bandjong. This is also quite a tough corner. As you see, it goes around the bend 90 degrees, so this will be quite hard for the athletes. The roof will come here. A few more additional things here on the catwalk, but basically it looks very promising. This is the low part. Also without the roof, but you see all the construction is already there, so they have to put in the plates. This gate is usually when bobsleighs are crashing, they're sliding back, and this is the place where they're taking it out. And the greatest thing there is really when you stand before a start, you be at the man's start or the woman's start, and you have this beautiful scenery behind you with the mountains, with the Dolomites. It's just a very special feeling. Eagles is nice, you have very beautiful mountains. Koenigsee is nice, you have very nice mountains, but there with this very rocky, shapy mountains of the Dolomites, it just feels very good to be there. And yeah, it's really sliding La Dolce Vita. So now we see actually a POV from the pre-homologation when we had the first test runs from the man start. So you see temporary roof there, but it worked pretty well. We're driving in corner 1, the bobsleigh start comes from the right side. Corner 2, it goes steep down very, 20%. Corner 4, we are straight. Now comes a tricky part already. The upper part is very technical. Corner 5, corner 6, Labyrinth Duo, very technical. Labyrinth 3, technical. Now comes 90-degree bend Belvedere and long Bandjong corner. And now we're going in a long straightaway. Lino Carpadou, it goes long down, 19%. Antelao, long Cristallo with the highest speed over 130 kilometers an hour. Now we're having an uphill section. Now corner Tofana goes down to the low point. Low point now, corner Ampezzo, and now we're driving up through the tunnel. Corna Arrivo and finish line. And touchpad for team relay, and now we're driving out the outrun. Here will be the finish deck with also media zone. The track was made by Gurgel. Gurgel is a construction company from Dresden and Leipzig, I guess. So it will have a different shape and a different character than Beijing and then Pyeongchang and to Sochi. Sochi was also quite technical. Pyeongchang and Beijing were a little bit different. But here you see the upper part looks completely different than the bottom part. So we're having this small and tricky kerning turfs up here, which is very technical already. Usually you have this in the middle section. So even if you're not fast here, we had a few crashes here, particularly in these corners, which is quite, yeah, curious, or this is quite ridiculous because the start is just up here and also for the women, but this Labirinto and Belvedere are very technical. And then the Antelao and Cristallo corner is probably the very difficult and focused space there where we will decide about winning or losing. And yeah, if you come there, you will see it's a beautiful environment. It's a very basic track. It's a very grounded track. So probably nobody of you have been to the, or maybe you've been to the Beijing Games and to the Yanqing Sliding Center with massive buildings and with basically the Great Wall within the track there, and also with Pyeongchang with big buildings. This will be a very grounded and normal track. Some people will be, how should I say, not very impressed because it will be so grounded, but you get everything you need. And this is also the way and the path we want to take as a federation in the future, so we will be grounded and going away from this massive stuff which we had in Beijing and also in Pyeongchang and also in Sochi in 2014. So this is the future, and we're also having the plan already to go back there regularly. We have the Youth Olympic Games in 2028 there. We will have World Cups regularly, and this will be perfect in the triangle between Eagles and Königssee as a training track, as a modern luge track, a grounded modern luge track, and it looks quite promising. So that's everything from me for the moment. Not so many news this year, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I pass it back to Margit.
Watchner? Are there any questions from your side to Matthias Böhmer? If not, he stays after. Heike.
Yeah, the sprint is gone and the sprint will never come back. I say now. Yes, it was a test year for the mixed event, and we had also a lot of negative voices about it because, as usual, if you bring in something new, like people are negative about everything. At the end, it was a big success, so I guess never before we had more nations participating in a luge event. So we had basically, because in the World Cup we're having two different races. So we're having a qualification race, which is usually the Nations Cup. It happens on Friday. So sometimes we have in the single discipline 50 men or 40 women or even more, because only the top 30 will slide in the actual World Cup. And some nations never qualified for the World Cup. Without talking bad about anyone, but like Ireland, Bosnia and Herzegovina, they are part of the World Cup and very important, but they never had the chance to actually take part in the World Cup final because they never qualified. Now with the mixed event, they fulfill through the training and participating in the Nations Cup the requirements to actually participate in the World Cup, in the mixed event. And they did. So it was the first time that Ireland, Japan, Bosnia, Australia was in a team event together, and I guess this is the right way of inclusion and transparency to move forward, including all the nations together. And for European Championships, I already talked to the international teams because we're having Switzerland, Australia, we're having Japan and Ireland, and Slovakia and Argentina. So crazy, but it's very funny, good people. And I told them that European Championships is European Championships, so you must compete as a European team in order to beat the results. And they told me, yes, we think about this, but we are more focused on the overall World Cup. This is what they said. But for the next seasons, we will see how it works this year. It was great last year, so we have now only 3 mixed events for the upcoming season because this is our current strategy, also with the sprint. We will see in review after this season if we maybe do a little bit more. Like I said, in Innsbruck this year, we will have all 3 days competition with team relay, with mixed event, and all the individual costs a little bit more, of course, for TV production. But at least you can play all disciplines through, and we will see in the future where we go and if it will be a part of the Olympic Games in 2030. But currently it checks every box that we bring this as an additional discipline.
No more questions?
Thank you, and don't drink now. And don't drink and drive.
don't drink without him. Thank you, Matthias. And I'm very, very proud to introduce Wolfgang Kindl, our athlete from Austria, joining us here today, a four-time Olympian, a double world champion, European champion, Olympic silver medalist twice in Beijing 2022. Welcome, Wolfi. Grab one of the mics. Make sure it works. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Ah, very good. So I introduced you as Wolfi. I'm always saying Wolfi, and if you send me a message, I always text Wolfi. But in the international luge circuit, everybody calls you Johnny. Do you like that, and why is this?
That's my additional nickname because it was when I joined the national team, coming up from the junior team, there was Linger Wolfgang also, so two Wolfis, and was always a problem because when someone called me or Wolfi, then both of us, they were recognized, and so they called me Johnny, but I can agree with that, so I'm flexible. Yeah.
That's good. So you're currently the only athlete in the World Cup competing in 3 disciplines. Nobody else does this. You're starting in men's singles, men's doubles, and in the team relay. How does it feel to be known as the sports all-rounder?
Yeah, for me, it's a great honor for sure. I'm a really experienced slider. I'm 37 years old now, and I started my project in doubles with Thomas Steu together because his partner, Lorenz Koller, he retired 2 years ago. And first it was a joke, and I said, yeah, I can jump on the sled with you. Let's do this. But then we were thinking about it, and it became really successful. We were successful in our first World Cup season. We won the overall title, 2 vice world champion titles and European champion. So it was, from the beginning on, it was a project which really worked.
But what drives you constantly to explore new challenges and instead of specializing in one discipline like most of the other luge athletes do?
I don't know, maybe I always need a challenge because it's getting boring otherwise, I don't know. But for me it was a little bit of honor to have the chance to be on a double sled. I never experienced this before. And yeah, it became part of my life in luge, and it's quite successful. And I can always, I can experience a lot out of doubles as well as singles. I can change between the disciplines, and maybe this is also very good for my to gain more experience as well.
Your career was really marked by both by highs and lows. At the end, over many years for Olympic starts, what have setbacks taught you along that way?
I think, as everybody knows in sport, it's not always about highs. I think everybody has lows as well, and you take the good parts out of the lows, and most of the time you come back stronger. And for me, yeah, I had some successful years, but I also had some really bad years with injuries, illnesses, etc. But yeah, I think you always have to keep your way going. And for me, it's maybe my 5th Olympic Games if I qualify. I've been a 4-time Olympian. I'm Olympic medalist in my last games. I've been 3-time Olympian with 9-place finishes, so 3-time 9th place. And then I had the chance to take 2 medals home. So yeah, for me the sense of the sport is never give up.
You told us the first season in men's doubles together with Thomas Steu was the 23-24 season. You said that you started, it was like a joke, but a really successful joke because you won the overall World Cup in the first season in the 23-24 World Cup. How important was this success to you personally?
Well, I never won the overall World Cup in singles. It was always a great goal for me, and then in doubles it worked in the first season. But yeah, it was first time it was a joke, but I knew that when we begin to think about this program, I had an experienced partner on my side, so I had the goal to be successful, and otherwise I did not take this journey. But was for sure unbelievable that it worked so well in the first season already.
I think you were on the podium at every race, at every World
Almost
Cup?
every race, yeah, on the podium. I think one exception, I won 7th place in Winterberg, but all the other races on the podium, yeah, was unbelievable.
In the Beijing 2022 Olympic Winter Games, you finally reached your well-deserved Olympic silver medal twice. How does this change your perspective on your career?
For me, it was a really big goal to win the Olympic medal. The Olympic Games, it's the most important race in our sport. We are a small sport, but the Olympic Games, they are everything. And so this was a really big goal, and I had to set a tick on it, yeah.
And you made history last season. So at the World Cup in Korea. This is the World Cup, not the 8th of last season in Korea at the Olympic track from 2018. At the Olympics, Wolfi Kindl reached the 9th place, again the 9th for the 3rd time. And this year, he showed everybody that he can win in both on one day, in singles and in doubles on the same day. So he really made history with that. So a great success. Even the next day, there was this new mixed event, mixed singles, mixed doubles, and Wolfi won in mixed singles and was 2nd in mixed doubles, again with the Austrian girls. So 4 medals in 1 week, and nobody before reached this in the Luge World Cup since 1977. So really, it was only one man from Italy, Wilfried Huber, who won singles and doubles on the same day, long ago in the 80s.
Yeah, I think in the 80s it was another sport or something different, because everybody nowadays, they just do one discipline because yeah, it's too much work, and everybody said, are you sure what you're doing? But yeah, I had a plan and I had some goals, and we saw then last year in Pyeongchang, it was just an unbelievable weekend, an unbelievable day to be on the top of the podium in both disciplines. Showed myself also that I'm still competitive also in singles, because it's getting more difficult every year, because not just the national colleagues, also from the international ones, they getting stronger and stronger every year. But yeah, it also it's a good season last year in singles and also in doubles. And on this picture, you see, I was the king of Pyeongchang on this day.
You really was. I think it was a crazy season. You just retired from, you just came back from a serious illness last season. Then you had a crazy crash in Altenburg. And where does your strength come to do this comeback and make history in Pyeongchang? Where does it come from?
Yeah, as we talked before, my career is highs and lows. And also last season I was in really good shape during the summer, and then was with this illness, was totally in bed the whole September. I lost the training weeks at the beginning of October, and I lost a lot of muscle, and could not do anything. Then I started slowly with training, and maybe it was the point because I just concentrated on luge. I did not do any athletics training because it was too much for me, and so maybe this was the correct way to do this season. And then I had this crash in Altenberg where all the doctors said, yeah, your season is over. And then I said, yeah, what can we do that I can compete again? And I just kept on going and I focused on that, what I can do. And this victory was after the big crash in Altenberg. So it was just amazing to finish the season like this.
Would you say this day in Pyeongchang would have changed your perspective or would be a turning point in your career because you saw everything is possible? You can win all the races? Yeah,
maybe it was also for myself because for my self-confidence also because I know that I can also be, I'm compatible also in singles as well as in doubles with Thomas. And so it's not a turning point, but I'm 37 years old, I'm experienced, but I'm not too old to win.
In doubles, together with Thomas Stoy, how do you build trust, timing, and the right feeling on one sled together? How does this work?
Yeah, it's strange, and it's something new for me as well, because I've never experienced this before, but I had the trust from the beginning on, from our first runs in La Plagne. We took him 3 years ago to have a look if it can be a good program or not, and was really good feeling from the beginning on, and we worked together very well, and I think, yeah, I know what he's doing, he knows what I'm doing, and he also says that it's for him it's a pleasure to work with me because I'm really experienced and he can learn a lot from me, and as well as I can learn from him in doubles. And yeah, that's I think the point why we are so strong together.
Yeah, Thomas said to me, I have the very best slider on my sled. I can learn from him, and that's what I say. I'm really a fan of you doing that, and I think a lot of people would not have expected you reaching all these goals and more to come, maybe.
Yeah, that's an honor for me for sure, because everybody says that I'm one of the best sliders, and for sure, my career is not over. I have the big goals for Cortina to win some medals there also, and yeah, maybe then there are the World Championships in Eagles the year after. Maybe there's also more to come in doubles. We don't know. As well as long as my body is feeling good, I think I will compete.
And there's also team relay. You know, you're not sliding for Wolfi Kindl, you're sliding for a nation, for the Austrian team. This is a big difference, isn't it? And are you especially nervous at the team competitions?
If you're a part of the strong Austrian team in the relay, then you know you always have the chance to win, and it's always great to celebrate together, for sure. You're nervous because you don't want to make the mistake, and everybody has to have his qualities in the race. But it's always, for me, it's an honor to be part of this strong Austrian team and to be successful together.
Yeah, for the upcoming Milano Cortina 26 Olympic Games, you are planning to compete in 3 disciplines: in men's singles, men's doubles, and in the team relay. What does this goal mean to you?
Yeah, it's not an easy goal because we have a really, really strong team in Austria. So it's the first thing for me is to qualify in all disciplines because we are really strong in men's singles. We also have 3 good doubles, and as Matthias said, not everybody will compete in the Cortina Games, and so that's the first point to qualify. And I think when I'm qualified, then I'm ready to win some medals for sure. But that's a goal, and yeah, I hopefully can be on top.
Are you really dreaming of reaching something unique, medaling in all 3 disciplines, for example?
Yeah, maybe for me it's for sure a goal, yeah.
And it's possible?
Everything is possible, yeah.
How do you find the balance between your experience and routine compared to younger athletes? You know, you have to slide against even younger, not so experienced athletes. How do you see the balance between this?
I think experience is never a disadvantage. I think I can play this advantage, especially on new tracks like Cortina. You have to find the right lines. You have to be confident on the sled and feel comfortable. And I think with a lot of experience, you can manage it easier than all the younger athletes. So I think this is an advantage for me, for sure. Yeah.
And at the end, when you look one day, when you look back to your career, your whole career, what do you want people say about Wolfi, Johnny, Kindle? What should they say looking back to your career?
Well, maybe I want to be known as the all-rounder, the most experienced, the best slider, who did all the disciplines, because this is unique, and yeah, maybe that's who I am.
Fantastic. Are there any questions to Wolfgang Kindl from your side?
Well, I think it's always an honor to be on a new track. It's always, for me, it's always special to learn some new tracks. And as I said, I can play with my experience, I think, to learn the new tracks really, really fast. Like, I think it's something not totally new, because we almost had the same in Beijing. Because of the corona epidemic, we also had just the possibility to start at the beginning of the season of the Olympic Games. We had a training week there, then we came back for the World Cup, and then we had the chance to go on the Olympic Games. And this is the same here. We have the training week where we get a lot of runs, and we have the international test event where we can also have the experience. And I think it's, for everybody it's the same, but I think some of us with a lot of experience, they have more advantage. No, not really. I'm really happy that we are here in Cortina and not in Lake Placid.
So I can offer that there are two more short presentations from Austria, Eagles, and then Oberhof. And Wolfi can stay with us, and you can do some individual interviews outside after these two presentations, if this helps. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Das Forum Nordicum wird unterstützt durch die deutsche Avia Mineralöl GmbH.